And greetings and salutations, one and all. We are back transmitting from the year 3000 with another episode of Here on the Wastes, where we play Horizons Unknown After Earth RPG, a game that has been written and created by myself. My name is Scott, aka Mr. Shogi 3000. We do have our wonderful cast here back for season 4. It has been a while. We do appreciate anybody who's been hanging out, checking out the videos, finding out what's going on with the exploits and the adventures of Rev and his band of adventurers, merry men. Yeah. Of course, again, this is a game called Horizons Unknown After Earth RPG. This is a game that's a futuristic sci-fi fantasy game that is set in the future of 2422 on an alien planet known as Saldaria. This is a game that is kind of a dystopian blend with fantasy, wasteland, wild, wild west, where futuristic, everything is in the ballpark here. This is a land and world where cooler heads sometimes prevail. The quicker trigger finger always lives to see the next day.
Yeet.
Running is always a viable option, and capital checks are truly your only friend. We do, again, appreciate everyone hanging out with us this evening. We have our excellent cast here who are come back for season 4, and we have a new face. But let's just start it off with Mr. Ryan, aka Ran118, playing Rev118. How are you doing this evening, good sir?
I'm great. I can't believe we're in season 4. It's awesome.
Season 4. Can you believe it? Episode number 35. So we're excited to see what happens now. I'm hoping that I kill somebody this season. That is my plan. But roles and fate will not allow it to happen. I guarantee it.
That's
And
right.
of course, we have playing Voldo the Recluse. We have my good friend here, Mike. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing great. Glad to be back for the 4th season, even though it's my second
season.
Yeah.
Works. It works.
Yeah, I'll take it though.
There you go. We do appreciate you being here, good sir. And of course, as you guys know, my brother from another mother, Shane Deesh, playing the good Dr. Ace Mars. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. I tried to kick you off, but you just we're like, no.
Hey, I'm part of the
much more
union.
to give.
I got union protection.
More like rep protection.
Yeah,
since
we're
I tried to
working
kill
on
you.
that.
There you go.
We're working.
A little bit of rev protection in there. And of course, our new guest here, and a good friend of mine, he's also my editor. I playing a new character named Gideon Goldenhammer. I got my good friend here, Richard. How you doing, good sir?
A pleasure to meet everyone.
Hey, great to meet
Awesome.
you, man.
Well, we're just gonna kick right in, guys. It's been 3.5 months since we were last with our group here, who journeyed into Warband, who went in which started off as a reconnaissance mission, turned into a one-way ticket mission, turned into a mystical learn about ourselves and the world around, where we found stone gardens, where we found grand librarians, where we found people losing rope, people dancing with themselves, people going in and out of passageways and just being looped around in mere circles, and as well the death of a good friend, Rev's good friend, his best friend,
My best friend.
Marvin.
He
Poor
was sorely missed.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Marvin.
Poor Marvin.
As well as we learned about that there are titans in this world. We've learned about Quran. We learned about Larian. And if anything, our adventurers have learned that there are mystical ways that they are not yet understanding of. That maybe they've walked into a bigger world than they initially thought that they were playing in. Let's just say that. Either way, they went in for like Gilligan's Island, a 3-day tour. And when they came out, they found out that 1 year had passed. Rev was able to get back to the Revjet, was able to find out that there was a message waiting for him and his adventurers, his group, from Jupiter, who gave grave news that Lilia Greythorn was dead and that the resistance was losing. She told whoever was still alive in hopes that this message would reach someone to meet at Hopetown, as that is the last bastion of the resistance as they have been pushed out of Lumina and into Vea. Rev took this information, now armed with it, armed with new knowledge, mystical knowledge, with Voldo armed with a new godlike weapon, almost. With the good doctor just happy to be alive because he was killed for a moment by his own friend. And with a young sleeping beauty, Jaina Dirtbanger, who was under the influence and guided by dark powers, is now in a slumber of her own doing. Scared, but protected now by Rev. As Rev's last act of loyalty to a good friend in Otis. And as you gentlemen move towards Hopetown, we're going to jump into this episode number 35, which is called As Above, So Below. So much has changed. So much is still changing. Where are we in the great scale of things? Are we making a difference? Is there a difference worth making anymore? The Titans are here. The Titans are awaking. They are now watching. We are pawns in a game we didn't sign up to play. Kuran, Lorien, the Whisper Queen, the Clockwork King, the Bandit Lord, the death of Rufus, the death of Otis. The sleeping beauty known as Jaina, who sits in a slumber of her own doing, that you find out a few days in Warband has now turned into a year. What do you have to show for it? One stone garden down, but another one will take its place. It's only a matter of time. So much has changed. So am I. I feel it growing, this feeling in my bones. There's a moment of pause when alarms initially go off. Maribel comes on. Rev, incoming, missiles.
Missiles, evasive maneuvers.
Evasive
Do we have
maneuvers.
shields? Do we have
Shields at
shields?
30%.
30%? Okay. Could we divert any kind of power to shields?
You can try.
Rev, that's on you. I don't know.
Some of my systems have been
much-
damaged. Incoming.
How-
5, 4.
Okay, divert power to
I'm
shield
going to grab,
and evasive maneuvers.
and I'm going to grab everything I can possibly like grab around me, all my stuff, anything loose. I'm just going to get ready for the ship to blow up and hopefully grab a pair of shoes. I don't know.
Understood. First evasive maneuvers. The ship tumbles hard to the left. Everyone roll athletics or deafness in order to hold and maintain onto something. Not you, Richard.
Oh,
Oh God! All right, 8.
Athletics is a 20, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're all D20s.
Okay. 14.
17.
Okay. Doc, you hold on. Let me see about. Voldo, you barely hold on. Rev, you are flung and slam yourself into the side of the other side of the compartment. do 1d4 damage.
Okay. 1d.
You each see this as Rev tries to get up, move to a chair, and as the hard jolt that pitches flings him into the side where he slams into the side wall.
Ouch! Ow! Ow!
You all right, buddy?
No! Ow!
Alarms still continue to go off. 4 more incoming. Evasive maneuvers. Again.
I would maybe head for the ground.
Can we divert power from the experimental power module of unknown material that we had gathered from?
You may attempt. You're in no position to get up and do something. You may ask the other
I'm gonna
guys to
yell
do
to
it.
the
Is it-
doctor.
Okay.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah, Doctor.
Roll an engineering check. Everybody roll athletics check. Rev,
15.
roll a fate roll. I want you to roll a single D20 against me.
Oh my god. Okay.
16.
Okay.
15.
My fate roll was an 8.
Okay. Doc, what did you have?
15.
Okay. Voldo and Doc, hold on. Roll an athletics for me, Rev.
Okay. Okay, that is a 14 plus 5. That's a 19.
19. You each brace this time, even better than before, but it hits. You actually feel like just like an explosion of sound just below you. Rev, you look down, you actually see the floor warp and crack and flex as the impact of the shields takes enough of it that it doesn't completely destroy the bottom floor. Incoming hit. Shields down to 10%. Divert
We should
power
maybe
now.
try and drop down. We should probably try and head down to the ground so we don't crash as hard. If we do crash,
The doctor, could you make an engineering check for me, please?
I thought that's what I rolled. The
You needed
15
to
for.
do engineering and you need to do an athletics check.
Oh, okay. Well, engineering was first, so that was 15. Athletics is 17.
Okay. He's able to divert some power in the small amount of time that he has left. Power diverted. Shields back up to 25% and increasing. Alarms, incoming again.
Maribel, can you get us low so that we can get into a sheltered position or someplace where we have landing opportunities?
Understood.
Can we do any counter firing?
Are you merely speaking into the ether here, or are you speaking to
Maribel,
Rev?
counter fire, please.
Unfortunately, unable to counterfire. Surface to air. The whole eastern coast is lined with surface to air iron cannons. They're all firing now. 4 more is just fired. Incoming.
Can you get us
down
below?
There's no
dropping
point.
down to 500 feet.
Yes, get us below
Yeah,
their firing range.
Yeah, drop as low as possible. I'm gonna start. Honestly, I'm just gonna kind of keep trying to grab bags and
Okay.
crates to hang on
Rev.
as much stuff as possible.
Yes.
Roll a fate roll against me.
Oh my gosh, fate. Fate does not seem kind.
None.
I'm gonna go over and check on our sleeping beauty and just make sure that she's as secure as possible.
Understood.
Oh shoot! I forgot
Fate
about
roll
her.
15.
15.
Yes.
The counter maneuver actually rolls out of this salvo and gets you lower. She goes, salvo diverted. Alert, incoming. They're firing again. Shields up to 28%.
Can we fire at the missile? Maribel, can we fire at the missile directly?
That requires manual override
Anybody
at that
want
point.
Is there anybody close enough to hop on that?
She's doing enough in regards to diverting power into the shields as well as any countermeasures. If anyone would like to get on Rev's guns, you can attempt to try.
I mean, if I'm close enough, I'd like to hop on and at least try.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do that. I'm going to continue trying to assess the situation and try to direct
Yeah.
Maribel.
Understood. Doc, you do your best to kind of like brace her. You find some kind of straps as well, just kind of strap her in that she doesn't move too much within that Rico tank, as well as you're holding on dearly, as well, just knowing what's
I'm
coming.
gonna check her vitals just in case I gotta try and bring her out of the coma or whatever.
Understood. Go ahead and just make a science check if you like.
Maybe bring her out now. I don't know.
If
I don't know
It
how
can be
bad she
done.
is.
Prep trumps
Yeah.
luck.
okay, just make sure that you're
All right, 17 plus 5, so that's
just make sure that you're marking off your exhaust.
yeah.
Her vitals seem stable. Rev,
Yes.
incoming. Fate roll, please.
Oh my
Can I
gosh.
hop on that? Can I try to shoot her first?
Absolutely.
16 on my fate roll.
Okay. Go ahead and try to fire. Make a simple attack.
An attack?
Yes.
So just like a basic attack.
5 or 6. That's all it
Okay.
requires to at least.
6.
Okay, so you do fire. Make a fate roll against me.
And that one's a
D20.
oh, okay, 13.
You get to beat that there's 4 incoming missiles.
Do we have any
Voldo shoots out of the sky 4 incoming missiles.
As we're flying, can I see what is like below us? Are we over water? Are we over a
You are
forest?
just
over
now
land?
crossing over the river. You just
Okay.
reached the eastern shore, going over to the other side. You do
Okay.
see down below that there are lined down the coast as far as you can see ion pulse cannons.
Okay.
So maybe like,
Rev, is there
perpendicular to those?
are there any invisibility or mirage tactics we can try with this ship?
I thought we had I put on a cloaking device on the Rev jet. I don't know if it's working. Maribel, is the cloaking device functional?
Unfortunately, sir, they have thermal scanners and tracking. We do give off a heat signature.
Okay.
They're seen through the mirage.
If we
Can't take
if we
many
are,
more shots.
if we get close to the water, if we go right above the water, would the water help mask us with our heat signature?
I can attempt.
Or at least like
How?
trees, maybe? Anything?
About 10 feet off the water, sir?
How large are the waves on this water? On this.
It's a river, so can't be too big.
Rev said it was more like a gulf. It's not calm. It's a little choppy, but I mean
Okay.
it's not like massive waves or anything like that.
Okay, I want you to hug the top of these waves.
Okay.
Try and
Understood.
stir
sir.
up as much mist or
Mist
cold
and
water
wave.
as you can.
Sure,
Yeah,
no
exactly.
problem.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Kind of like if you can angle down or something, that'd be
No
good.
problem.
Cool.
She kind of dive bombs down. Incoming.
Should we-
Alert. Incoming. They fired again. 4 more shots.
Voldo, we got incoming.
I'm gonna take another. I'm gonna take another shot at these. All right. Let's.
I need you to make a fate roll, Rev.
It's
Fate roll. Okay.
4 on the D6 for
Gotcha.
me.
Fate roll of 15.
Okay. You were able to bypass 2 that just barely miss you. Mike. Voldo attempts to fire at 2 more and misses. They slam into the back. The first one, again, you see the back of your RevJet flex and warp. This time, you can actually see the flexing crack
Ugh.
until the other one hits and blows out the back door.
How close are we to land?
A rush of air, like a vacuum, starts to pull each one of you through the back. Doc, since you were the closest to the back, please make an athletics check.
3.
Voldo, please make an athletics check.
Okay, that's +3. 18.
Rev, make a fate roll.
I fate all on me today. 13.
Rev, you have just enough time to do something as you see the good doctor slipping out the back, barely holding on to the Rico tank, being sucked out into the wake now. You see that you're now skimming the water, but you're smoking also extremely badly.
I would like to yell out to Maribel to see if she can seal the back while I grab onto the most stable corner I can, grab my high tension cable from my pack, and try to throw it to the doc and say, "Doc, grab on."
Good doctor, make a athletics or power roll, your choice. Unable to seal, complete breach, slowing down,
Power.
slowing down.
9. Power 9.
Make a fate roll for me.
Not the only one.
20.
Oh.
Nat 1.
As you start to slip, you miss the cabling. It starts to, it's just barely out of your reach. So close, but yet so far, you feel. But fate seems to be on your side. As Maribel slows, it allows you to grab and not be completely sucked out. Though you are barely holding on, half of you still inside the rev jet, half of you almost outside. Your legs can feel the skimming water that is just below you.
And this is what I'm grabbing, what Rev tossed out to me? Is that what you
You're
said?
grabbing onto whatever is
Right,
left of
okay.
that back of that rev jet.
A little help here, guys.
Voldo, can you get that?
Yeah,
Can you-
yeah. I was just gonna say, if I can jump back there, try to grab it, try to grab anything, at least. Who's hanging out further? Is the
It's
doc?
Yeah.
It's Doc first, and then the tank.
No, the tank was well secured by the good doctor. He just didn't well secure himself.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Okay. So yeah. Yeah. Question.
I have that razor whip. Can I
That's
try and
true.
sling that sucker and wrap it around something without it like doing any damage?
I would have to be honest and say no. You're probably using both your
Okay.
arms in order to hold
Okay.
on. So you're bound by
personally.
Voldo, who's attempting to try to to come to
Yeah,
your
I want-
rescue.
I want Voldo to get that rope out to him so he can reach it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
say, isn't that high tension cable or whatever that's still like hanging
It's
out?
it's still on the
It's still
ground. It just didn't get
flopping
to
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try and grab that and then like
Pull it out
hook
to
this
him.
up to him.
Okay. Roll deafness, and then roll power.
While he's doing that, I'm like trying to wrap it around some sort of
Okay.
protrusion to
Sure.
brace
Okay.
it.
So deafness. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, that's a 14.
Then roll deafness as well,
And
Rev.
Okay.
and then what was the other one you wanted?
Power. Because you're gonna obviously at that point you're gonna try to pull.
Yeah. Okay, and that one's 16.
My deafness was 17.
70. Okay. Just as Voldo gets to the good doctor and kind of wraps it around as best as he can, or at least gives it to him and tries to pull. You tie off and anchor just in time, that you can actually free your hands and just feel like it should be good. Your anchoring is solid enough that Voldo is able to get a hold of the good doctor and pull him back on board. Alert!
God,
Alert!
yeah, that was
Incoming
close. Thank you,
salvo!
guys.
Incoming salvo!
Jesus. How close are we to land, Rev?
You're at
Maribel, how
this-
close are we?
You find yourself, Rev, about halfway. Halfway, you're in the middle of the
Across.
water, so you can see the other shore.
Who's closest to the guns at this point? Still me? Or...
Jaina?
Besides
we
her.
slowed down, right? In our
Yeah,
as
she
we
slowed down in
down.
order to obviously mitigate the vacuum.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
can I go for the guns if there's more coming in?
It is. Everybody roll just a simple D20. Roll your reaction, if you could.
Reaction, okay.
Okay, 14.
Huh. So my reaction is -3.
Okay, so
5.
Rev's gonna go first. The doc will go, and then Voldo. So, based on the situation, you see sensors tell you another incoming 4. I've been fired directly at you. You are a bit maimed. You do see that shields are at 2%. Another shot directly would probably put you completely out of commission, maybe even kill you.
Okay.
You do notice that the doctor is at least back on board.
Okay. Did we did get the power from the experimental thing to
It's converting, but it's slowly converting.
and that was working towards shields, right?
Right.
Can I tell Maribel to convert all power to forward thrusters to try to outrun the incoming missiles? So instead of just leaving off shields, full power on forward thrusters to try to get as far away as we
Understood. So
can
you're going to
fast.
you can take everything and just divert it directly into thrusters. Understood.
Just gun it, staying low to try to get away from these missiles.
Okay, understood. Make a fate roll.
Okay. $13.
Successfully diverted. Maximum thrusters. As good doctor, roll power check at disadvantage.
Yes.
So that's -3 or minus.
Yes. At
'cause this-
unfavorable. I'm sorry.
Unfavorable.
Yeah,
okay.
and unfavorable.
8.
Voldo. Roll athletics. You're currently muted as well.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay.
Roll athletics.
Athletics. Okay, so that's 13.
You grab a hold of the doc before he's actually jettisoned out again. As
thought he was secure.
full thrusters rocket you out. He was barely on when you decided to do that, and you reacted first.
I did. I was just like, punch it.
Voldo's holding on. Roll power if you can, Voldo.
Ooh, 12.
Good doctor. Make a fate roll.
15.
You both. Voldo is holding on for dear life to you. He's keeping you on board, but you do notice that you're starting to slide backwards. you're taking both of you out the back. Slowly, but you're just holding on barely. It's weight versus weight, and you weigh more than Voldo.
Are they holding on to my rope, to my high tension cable?
Yeah. You do notice that high tension cable is horribly being strained and flexing to whatever you anchored it to.
Oh gosh. Hold on, I'm still focusing on the running away thing.
You make a beeline to the shore of Vea.
Uh-huh.
I need you guys each to roll athletics.
Okay.
Right, that one I actually have. Okay, so that was 19.
12 for me.
Okay.
13.
Okay. Gentlemen, everything falls on Rev's roll right now. A fate roll, Rev, please.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You're trying to kill us right now.
I'm absolutely not. I'm allowing you to
This
make
is like
your
the fifth
own.
fate roll. That's a 3.
That's a 3. 2 hit, taking out both of your thrusters. The other 2 miss. You are completely lamed. You are coming in hot. You are unable to break. Gentlemen, what would you like to do in these moments before you hit the ground?
Are we still over the water, or have we gotten over ground? I never really told us.
Based on... Ask Maribel.
Maribel, have we reached the shore, or are we still over water?
Power shutting down. Will hit the other side of the shore when all the power goes out. You are flying blind. You are a lame duck. Brace for impact, gentlemen.
I'm gonna jump on and hang on to the tank.
Run towards the back, try to grab Jaina, and jump out before we hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to jump on and hang on to the tank, and
okay.
Hopefully, I have everything that I've been grabbing with me.
Doc, what are you doing?
Is there any type of restraint or safety harness anywhere near me that I can?
Absolutely.
I mean,
there's Rev's high tension wire that's still in your hand.
I guess I'm just gonna hold on to that and reel myself in and hope that I'm strong enough to keep myself from slamming into something.
Okay.
I don't know what else to do.
Understood. Rev runs back to Jaina in the Rico tank and attempts to hold on to her. Is that what it is?
Well, I'm trying to get. When I looked out the front before I turned around, what did I see? Did I see land?
You saw land, which looks relatively like sandy land.
Okay.
So it's not hard rock. At least that portion.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to grab her out and jump out the back and shelter.
That as you do that, Voldo attempts to do the exact same thing as you, and goes for Jaina as well. And you guys have this weird, awkward moment, like
that we're helping each other.
Yeah. She's still in the Rico tank, and you are aware that the Rico tank can actually be disconnected, and she can remain in the Rico tank.
Oh.
The good doctor made sure all things were taken care of in guys' Rico tank, that they can actually be a bit mobile.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we unhook it and grab it and try to jump out the back.
Okay. Voldo and Rev unhook the chamber that she was in and attempt to try to move her towards the back in order to go out. Doc, you see them attempting to do this, but you're holding on. You're going to just ride this pony all the way to the end? As you're doing that, they're like, excuse me, we're going out the back.
I'm grabbing this parachute real quick. You can do what you want.
I'm just gonna hold on and brace myself for impact.
Understood. Voldo and Rev, go ahead and
Yeah.
make athletics checks if you can, as you are
Okay.
going to jump out into the water and hope that it doesn't hurt too bad.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Okay, 19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically trying to wrap it in a way that'll just hold me in place if I at all can, and relying on my strength to just
Sure.
absorb the impact and keep me from boom.
Understood. It's going to be your rodeo 8 seconds. Gotcha. You are muted, Mike, so I have no idea what you're saying to me. What is your
Oh, I was just listening.
What is your role?
Oh shoot! What was the roll? Sorry, I'm dealing
Athletics.
with some other. Okay, 16.
Okay, you both are able to unhook the Rico tank. Essentially, it just falls to the ground, and you shove it out, both holding onto it in hopes that maybe it has some kind of flotation ability.
Yeah.
And you both perfectly dive out of a careening rev jet. As you do this, you look back and you see the good Doc just like
wave.
hold it on as it's like going down. You guys slam into the water. You guys do it well enough that you actually pinpoint perfectly dive in, that you don't take too much concussive damage or anything like that. It's a little bit jarring and shaking. But you do find that the good old Rico tank it is a bit of a flotation.
It actually floats.
It floats. And you guys kind of hold on as you see the good doctor slam into the beachhead. The good doctor, please roll fate.
Oh my gosh. Sure hope Doc's okay.
7.
Doc. I would like you, as you slam directly into the ground, you start to see the flexing of the red jet just shatter away. The side paneling, the console, the glass. Give me 4d6 damage as you are tossed around like a rag doll. As it
I
flips
take 46.
end over end over end.
All right. Whew, got lucky. 10.
Okay. You take
So
10
that's
points
10
of
off of my
damage,
BP.
and you are completely unconscious. Gentlemen, the rev jet, from which you can see as you're floating, probably about, I'd say about 50 feet or so. Do you start to swim as you see the rev jet, and interesting enough, does not explode into a fiery ball. It merely slams in and tumbles over about 3 or 4 times. But you don't see the good doctor.
Yeah, I would like to swim towards where we saw the Rev Jet go down.
Okay.
Because I got to check how the Rev Jet's doing. Not the Doc, the Rev Jet.
Of course. Voldo, do you make the swim as well?
I imagine the Rev Jet took a little more damage.
As you guys get to the beach, the engines burst into flames.
No.
Wow. As do I imagine.
Good doctor.
Now, was I ejected or am I still in
Take
there?
4d6 damage.
Oh my God.
Again.
So I'm still in the jet.
You're still in the jet, completely unconscious.
Yeah, but I'm not near the engines, am I?
You're inside the jet.
You said the engines caught fire.
The engines are attached to the jet.
Can I yell at Voldo? Voldo, can you go see if you can get Doc? Like, run, go get him, because I'm not leaving.
Yeah, if I'm close enough, yeah, absolutely. Get us ahead to him, grab him.
Okay. Would you like to try to do that? Are you gonna try to temporal rift?
Oh shit! Yeah, you know what?
You can move.
In a situation like this, I will actually give you advanced accuracy.
Okay, then yeah, you know, let's go.
Voldo works well in high tension situations like that.
Yeah, there we go. That's my jam.
Yeah, his focus increases. So 4, 5,
Okay,
6
cool.
in order to temporal rift to try to, and you figure it's about just within.
Fuck. I got a 3.
So he tries to temporal rift and he just merely falls to the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can I try and swim at that point then?
Yeah, you're not too far away from shore. Rev's been pulling the chamber as well as swimming as fast as he can.
As fast as I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Rev, you actually make it to the shore. Voldo is probably he's probably about like 20 feet behind you.
Okay.
As he tries to stop in temporal rift and it doesn't happen, so he actually kind of sinks for a second, and then he actually pops back up and then starts to do it.
Do I see the engines of the Rev jet like explode?
Yeah, they actually fireball.
Okay. Well, I'd like to yell back to Voldo, watch over Jaina, and I want to book it as fast as I can to the Rev jet.
Understood.
As fast as I can.
You get to the Rev jet, and you see that the control panel, the interior, is now starting to catch on fire, and the good doctor is right in the middle. A few flames are now trickling upon him, and he's completely unconscious.
Is that experimental doodad that we got? How's that doing? Is that salvageable?
I'm not looking at that.
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think he's looking at that.
I still feel guilty for stabbing the doc recently.
Sure, fair enough.
He forgave you.
If I can get to the dock, I want to try to grab him and just pull him out of the wreckage as fast as I can.
Roll power.
Okay. Oh goodness. Power. Well, I'm sorry. I have a blessed with favor on athletics, but I just have regular on power. What's the plus on that again?
If it's just regular, it's a regular D20.
Yeah, but if I have the keyword, it's a plus something, right? Like
it's plus 3.
Plus 3. Okay, 8. Let's roll an 8. 5.
You are struggling to pull the good doctor. Slowly but surely, you start to feel on some of what is still human skin. You can start to feel the heat of the flames, which obviously of these ion engines, really kind of like starting to cook you guys up a little bit. You continue to keep pulling them out. Make a fate roll.
Okay. As I make this roll, I don't think she's alive, but I want to yell, Mirabelle, activate anti-fire sprinklers as I roll my fate roll. 8.
I will allow you to make an engineering check to see if you can actually do it. You have to divert power back into her, because remember, her power was gone.
Okay.
But you do have that experimental power coupler.
Power cell that might have some residual something. Oh my god. I just rolled an at 20.
Wow. You're doing a horrible job of dragging the doctor. But your engineering sense kicks in, and you go and you try to manually divert power. And you hear, yes, sir.
Yes, activate anti-fire sprinkler system.
Activating anti-fire system. And fire retardant just fills the whole cabin. As all the flames in the jets in the inside cabin all are completely extinguished. Of course, now you're each covered completely in this white fire retardant residue.
Foam.
Yeah. Voldo, you're sitting there at the beach, and you just see in the distance
watching.
You just see this just plumes of like white smoke come billowing out of
I'm just gonna like pop a squat and like lean back and just kind of watch at this point. I got nothing I can do.
As that happens, you see emerge from this white billowing dust, completely covered in some white fire retardant residue, is Rev dragging the poor doctor out far enough away from the wreckage. In the distance, you hear Maribel just goes, "We reached our location."
Would you like to rate this Google Maps directions?
We got here safe and sound. Is everyone? I read 4 life forms. Everyone survived.
Yeah, great job, Maribel. Great, great job.
Thank you, sir. Should I run diagnostics?
No. Try to contact Hopetown and give them our location, please.
Doing a scan. Scanning. Scanning. Sir, I have life forms approaching.
What
8.
direction?
To the north, sir.
I yell out, Voldo, we got incoming from the north.
Is there anything I can like hide behind and kind of like,
Yeah, you kind of look around and you see a relatively sandy beach shore. There's a body of water behind you, and in front of you is the Jaina capsule. So you can hide behind Jaina.
Fuck it, let's do it. I'm gonna hide. Oh man, they're gonna come straight for her.
Voldo just turns around, dives back into the ocean.
So there's no trees or anything anywhere.
They're coming that way.
They're coming from the trees.
Yeah.
Is there like a way I can veer into the trees where they'll pass like right by me?
I'm to assume you could.
Okay, let's do that. Veer off to where I can like still see what's going on, but where like I'm avoiding the straight line they're coming down.
There's some like jutting rock formations that are kind of like, about 40 feet away that you could attempt to reach. I mean, it might be that easy.
40 feet is my.
They just see some guy scurrying across the thing.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah. I'm going to book it then because, that's my range movement.
Okay.
40 feet. So,
Rev, what would you like to do?
It.
Can I tell how bad a shape the dock is in?
You see that he looks like he's taken a good beating.
Okay.
You figure that though a good hard slap might arouse this guy. He's still breathing.
Can I, before I make my decision of what I do, can I yell out to Maribel, are the incoming life forms hostile and armed?
They are armed, yes.
Okay. I feel like
based on their elevated heart rates, they don't seem to be too hostile. But that could change.
The one thing I would like to do is I would like to start my shamanistic blessing of the wolf chant to bring a full heal to Doc because he looks pretty banged up.
Okay. With that, obviously you put your hands upon him, you center yourself, you maintain focus, speak to the spirits, and you feel kind of your own life force channel and divert directly into the good doctor. The good doctor, you feel life jut back into you immediately and magically snapping you from this kind of murky mind state that you're in. The idea of feeling like you're asleep when you should be awake. And you look up and you see Rev standing over you.
Chanting in a
What the hell happened?
Rev just goes, "You broke my Rev jet."
Oh my god. Did you just bring me out of this?
Yeah, we kind of shimmied out of there, but we got incoming, so get your head in the game.
So what does that do to my power? Is that full power or what?
Yeah, he gave you full back everything.
Yeah, it's a it gives full rejuvenation, full life, and half of your expended exhaust. If you
Which
use
yeah,
it
I think he spent like one.
I spent one.
So he
You
gets half of that one back.
He gets half of one. Round it up or down.
Well, thank you, man. Looks like we got a bigger fish to fry.
Voldo, go ahead and roll fate. Let's see if you can, if the fate is on your side, that they do not notice you scurrying across.
9.
Okay. You make your way and you actually get to one of the rocks and you kind of hide behind it. You abandon Jaina. Coming from just on the other side of your wrecked Revjet, Rev, you start to hear sounds of incoming troops. And you hear, "Hello there. Can you hear us? Are you still alive?
We're a little banged up, but we're alive.
Are you friend or foe?"
We were just shot at from the other side of the river, so I'm really hoping we're friends.
You were taken down by the anti-aircraft?
Yeah, they had a lot of guns. They were all pointed right at us, and they got some good hits on.
What is your name? You're just in this. You're just hearing a voice from on the other side of the still billowing white plumage of the Revjet.
Before I answer, I say, "Doc, do you recognize that voice by chance?"
I use all my language and whatever skills. I assume they're speaking our language, but readily, no, I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a voice that you recognize.
Okay. I'm taking a chance here. My name is Rev 118, recently of the Resistance.
Wait. What is your name?
Rev 118.
Who else do you come with?
Well, I got a banged up Doc here.
What is his name? Doc who?
Dr. Ace Mars.
You hear, "Oh my God, are you serious? Yeah." And you hear him just go, "Please, stay where you are. I can't believe this. Is it truly you?"
I just look at the Doc and shrug. I don't know.
It's
goes,
me.
"We are coming around the corner. Our weapons are lowered. Please do not attack. We are friend.
Oh, that's good news.
We are part of the Resistance."
I just slump down in exhaustion on the ground since I know they're friends.
I do the same.
Immediately coming around the corner, Voldo, you actually see this even better. You say there's probably about a group of 4 or 5, and they are all guardians. They all have these side-mounted weapons, heavy kind of armor, and they start to come around and make their way. And you do notice that they lower it down. And one of them, who seems to be a younger gentleman, probably in his late 20s or so, has very closely cropped black hair, and kind of like, that 5 o'clock shadow kind of look that he's got. He's a bit grizzly. Comes around the corner and he's just merely got his hand up, looking towards to see if he can come around the corner and see Rev and the good doctor. He just goes, "We're friends. We're friends. My name's Corporal St. John of the Resistance. Is it truly you?"
Just ask our computer on the ship, Maribel. Can you identify
You hear,
that we're friendly?
"Yes. This is General Rev 118 of the Resistance. Unfortunately, we've crashed."
No shit, Sherlock.
And he actually comes around. You see him in full view at this point. And what you see Guardians, and you've seen Guardians before. But you see that their armor is kind of a whitish grayish and looks extremely distressed. That they've seen action. The rest of the guys that are with them all look horribly haggard. But the gentleman that's in the middle, who introduces himself as Corporal St. John, is probably the cleanest cut of the group, and he merely comes up to you and he just goes, my God, it is you. He goes, forgive me, forgive me. What can we do to help? I don't know if you remember me, but I served under you for a short amount of time for one mission. And
Talking to
immediately
Rev.
it does, no, for you, Rev. And you kind of see him and you're just like, maybe there's some
Okay.
familiarity there.
Corporal St. John, were you with me on one of our rescue missions?
He goes, yes, absolutely, sir. I was always hoping to maintain being part of your group, but it looks like we had been separated, going off doing other missions. I heard you were on a one-way mission to take down Warband itself, but we hadn't heard from you. We all feared that you were all dead.
Well, apparently there's some mystical shenanigans going on down in Warband, and we lost ourselves a year.
A year?
To us, it's been to us. We went in 3 days ago, maybe 4, and we come out. We find out.
You see a confused, bewildered look on what you're saying to him. Like the mystical, any of those things doesn't seem to like compute with him. And he just goes, well, it has been a year. We lost contact with you a year, but you saved 3 days.
There is a lot of starfire and strange mystical energy under Warband, and we think it altered time for us.
And he looks at you again, and then he kind of like, his tense shoulders kind of like droop a little bit. He just goes, this seems, forgive me, sir, but this seems beyond me. I do believe that you are who you say you are. I don't see General Voldo. Did he fall?
Voldo's here. I think he's finding some rocks over there or something.
Oh, so you're just gonna burn me out like that? I was hiding for a reason.
You left Jaina. You left Jaina.
Yeah, so they could like inspect her and I could ambush them. Okay, so yeah, now that I'm burned out, I start walking around the corner and
he looks
hey guys.
He looks at you. Immediately, he just goes, wow, General Voldo. He just goes, you're alive.
Yes.
And then a couple of the other
yeah.
guys kind of like sneaky. He goes, I always figured he'd be the one who died, but he's still here. And then another guy like gives,
I'm gonna whisper to him. Me too.
you see 2 of the other guys kind of take a look at you and then look at each other, and they just go, and they do a little something on their sidekicks, and you hear another ping on another guy's, and you get this situation that there was a bet on you, and they just transfer the checks. And then the other gentleman looks down and he just goes, good doctor. One of the other gentlemen who's next to him, he just goes, are you okay? And he seems to be some kind of a little bit of a medic. And he comes down to you, doctor. Do you do anything? Did he just go ahead?
Well, I mean, as far as we're responding to him,
Yeah. Or do you just kind of like,
well, I don't know these people, so I'm just still trying to gather myself and be like in the moment,
Sure.
okay with everything, just
Okay.
kind of observe. Very relieved though, because I'm still kind of slouched out. I'm
Sure.
still kind of sitting down. But
okay, with that, you do notice again the gentleman who introduced himself as St. John comes up to you and he just goes, so you got the message, sir.
We know that Hopetown is kind of our last bastion. Is that right?
Unfortunately, it is, sir. It might be even worse than that. We are only 50 men strong at this point. And most of us are scattered.
Who's in charge? Is there anybody?
The only
left with
person
the
is in
infrastructure?
charge is the old Sarge.
Sergeant, what's her name?
did you say old Sarge?
Do you know the old Sarge? Sergeant
Uh,
Gideon Goldenhammer?
Gideon, what
Yeah.
about Lieutenant Commander Janhart?
Janhart? Are you talking about Lilia?
Yeah. Is she?
Oh,
is she
forgive me,
dead?
sir. I thought that the message had reached you. You said it did, but Commander Lilia Graythorn she was killed, and we just recently, unfortunately, we lost Commander Jupiter as well. We tried to make an attack on the eastern shores to try to take out some of the anti-aircraft, and unfortunately, we lost that. We lost that battle, sir.
Where's Sergeant Goldenhammer? Is he in Hopetown?
He's in Hopetown. I will definitely take you to him. He's essentially the only commanding officer we have left, highest ranking. He's probably more of a 4-star general at this point, but he just doesn't accept the fact that he wants to rank up. He just stays sergeant, and I think it's a little bit because he's just kind of enamored with the name. I will tell you though, sir, that he's a bit of a drunk at this point. You can understand our situation. Jupiter was kind of like a daughter to him, so it kind of hit him hard. I've been doing my best in his stead to try to rally the troops, to try to gather resources over here and get into contact with any of our other troops if they might be still scattered out in Lumina, but unfortunately, things just haven't, fate has not been on our side. But
Well, we did.
maybe things are changing. You gentlemen are here.
Yeah, there's 3 of us. Although we did find somebody important. That little lady over there, pointing to the what's it called? The chamber.
The Rico tank.
Yeah, that is Otis Dirtbanger's sister.
With that, I'm suddenly just like, holy crap! And I remember her. I'm like, what the hell? So I want to go over and like check on her.
Oh,
And
like his fatherly instincts kick in. And he
yeah, I wanna
gets up
go.
without saying anything, and he scatters on down.
Yeah,
And St. John looks at you and he just goes, when you say that little lady over there, forgive me, sir, I don't see anybody down there.
You see that tank of not backed up. What is it called?
The Rico tank that's
the Rico
sitting
tank
there.
over there.
Oh, someone's
That
inside.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
The little lady in the tank. Yeah.
Forgive me, sir. I thought maybe you'd hit your head too hard with the explosion and the accident.
Well, I did. So
Okay.
Yeah.
A bit of both.
Well, if you gentlemen are okay, we can definitely take you back to Hopetown. We can share with you what we have. We don't have much. I will.
Before we
He looks at
go-
you, all of you, and he kind of like, just be aware, it's grim. But I'm
kinda
glad you're here.
I put my arm around his shoulder and I turn to the Rev Jet and I say, "Is there anything we could do with her?"
And he
Pointing
looks
the
at you,
Rev
and
Jet.
he kind of gives you like the look, and he just goes, I'm to assume we have some engineers here. We can probably piece together some stuff here. I don't know if she'll ever be as good as she was before, but we can definitely work on her.
The Rev Jet, the worse she gets, the better she looks.
And he looks at you and he just goes, I don't understand that, but we'll do what we can.
You're a good man.
We
Sinjin.
probably should start moving our way back into the interior over to Hopetown. I'll definitely get a group out here to see what they can do to help salvage and see what they can do to help repair.
Thank you, Sinjin.
So he
Lead the
kind of,
way.
you see him just calling in, just ask for an engineer and recon group to come out, gives the coordinates, and he just goes, gentlemen, please follow me.
I'm gonna get some help.
2 of the
with
other
this
guys come over and
Rico tank.
they help pick it up and help
I want
move
to.
it
I
for
want
you.
to know because I remember you said about 6 hours and someone's totally or pretty much healed. I want to know what her status is, and I'm sure I can deduce this from the tank itself.
By
How
all
long?
by all means, when you take a look at her vitals and with the vitals that you got off of the ship when you did the initial scan, she's completely healthy.
Okay. I
As
should have
can
just brought her out before we crashed, but I'm kind of glad I didn't.
can I grab the experimental power source from the rev jet and Mirabelle's like core so that I
Core
can keep both
processor?
of those? Yeah.
Sure, make an engineering check.
Okay. Let's see. So 10.
10.
Yeah.
It takes you a lot longer than you were hoping to do. And if that's the case, roll a fate roll to see if there's any damage.
Okay. Fate roll, all right.
Scotty, I just shot you a message.
16
Text it to
fate
me.
roll.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just text it to me.
16 was my fate
16. You're able to pull out the Meredith's core as well as that experimental.
roll. Okay.
And with that, you do kind of like slide it, a little bit of sleight of hand into your pocket.
my back there. Okay.
As you kind of make your way back in to Hopetown, you notice that Vea itself is a bit more woody, but it's not foresty in any way. There is, as you kind of reach probably maybe 300-400 yards down, it starts to open up into a bit of a path. So that sandy part turns into kind of a just natural trail. You could have, yes. As you continue to go farther, Sinjin merely tells you, he just goes, "Sir, please forgive me. Any good news? Is there anything that we can hold on to that we have? That I mean, it's awesome and great and amazing that you gentlemen survived, and that we have somebody still of the leadership of the resistance. But it's grim here, sir. Is there anything that you learned that we can hold and keep faith on? Anything
Well, I
that I
don't-
can keep these men motivated? You understand, sir?"
Yes, I understand. Hope is a powerful thing. I don't know if it's good news, but we ran into some swift shades from Am Shirai. We think the central hub is active again.
Wow. And he looks at you and he just goes, "Sir, I asked for good news, not bad news."
Well-
That's bad news, sir.
Have you heard of Titans? We've also learned that
Titans?
they're active.
What is
There are some beings of immense power that are active in this area, and one of them helped us. That might be the only hope I can offer.
He immediately looks at you, quizzical, and then he turns to Voldo, and he with the kind of look like, "Is this real?"
What's wrong with this guy?
I'm gonna just slowly nod my head and just kind of like give like that shrug, like yeah, it happened.
You immediately see the look on his face is that didn't help, and he just kind of like, "Okay." With that, he doesn't exactly say much more, or nor does he pry much more into any more stories.
After that question, I go, by the way, have you heard of a Titan called Lorien of Balance?
And he just goes, "So, yes, our old Sarge is like what he likes to be. He likes to go by. We'll be coming up on him, and as it opens up more, what you see is it looked like a town at some point, a small town, wasn't much. That is more just ruins, and anything that is any kind of like residence or housing is just dilapidated and run down. It is truly like, if this is base camp, this is truly the last bastion of a broken and worn down and losing resistance. It's an old settlement that sits on the western shore, on the outskirts of what you know to be the Moonborn mountain range. that borders the lush interior and into the foreboding lands of Vea itself, into the internal. What you see is a small town full of ruined buildings, homesteads, that many seem old, dilapidated, worn by time, and even most just being overall neglect. It seems to be just a impromptu HQ base for the remaining group of resistance soldiers. What you do see is a scattered group sitting around, maybe on best look 30, maybe or more. You figured 30 might be closer to that 50 that Sinjin had given you. Most look like young soldiers, not a lot of guys who have seen a lot of experience. They all seem to be sitting around these makeshift bonfires, doing their best to keep warm. You do notice that on this side of the river that it's much cooler, that hot beaten sun of the wasteland environment doesn't seem to affect Vea itself. Maybe you can feel the cool breeze from the river of Acheron blow through. In the middle stands a large bonfire. And in it, as you pass this group, you start to notice that all the soldiers look at you quizzically and then just merely turn away. They seem defeated. They seem broken as you walk through to try to reach the middle. As it happens, Sinjin kind of moves a little bit further and faster and goes up to this gentleman who's in the middle, who's sitting on a makeshift rocking chair. It's a small individual, probably standing at about 5'8", 5'9". He's stocky, build. He is sitting in a very worn down exosuit. He has a bluish, tattered cape that used to probably be a cloak at some point, but the cloak is long gone. It's tucked underneath his rocking chair itself. He's almost like sitting on it. His hair is completely gone. He has a big gray, like salt and pepper, like bushy beard that at the end is tied into a little bit of a braid. He has a large scar across his face, and he's merely throwing down drinks, one after the other, and he's smoking on what looks like a bit of a cigar. Sinjin walks up to him, merely pats him on his shoulder, and just goes, "Sarge! Wait, Sarge, can you hear me?"
Yes, I'll hear you.
And he just goes, "We got visitors. Friends, I think."
We'll have to meet these men.
Would you like me to bring them over? Are you in, like, do you have your wits about you?
I can hold myself together.
All right. With that, he turns to you gentlemen, and he motions you forward. And he just goes, "Rev, this is Sergeant Gideon Goldenhammer. Sarge, this is General Rev 118. Next to him, General Voldo. Behind him, General Dr. Ace Mars. And some pretty lady that's in some kind of canister. I didn't get her name."
Oh, you gentlemen have seen
Jaina.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He just goes, "Jaina." Okay, go ahead.
You gentlemen look like you've seen better days, but in these times, haven't we all?
He just merely sits and rocks back and forth. He
Yeah.
seems like this old wise guy, but you also feel like he might be plastered.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, Rev kind of looks around at all the beaten soldiers, says, "This is all that's left?"
Yes. We've well, in my time, we used to call it getting whooped. We were put
Fair enough.
we were we got mowed by the souls of woe out in the
We should have took them out first.
Sinjin's
yes.
Sinjin's the whole time he's got like one hand on the dock, like patting. I'm not sorry on Gideon, like patting him, like kind of like it's okay, you can continue. And he's just like he's like just nodding to everything he says. Yeah, mode. Yeah, we got mode. It's okay, Sarge. Continue.
And he kind of gets like a lump in his throat. He's like he's trying to gather his thoughts.
You can do it. You can do it, Sarge. Just tell him the truth.
She was like a daughter to me.
Oh God. Okay, Sarge. Sarge. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Come on. Take another drink. Let's take another drink, Sarge. We need to forget about her. She's dead. These guys are friends, visitors. With them, hope lives. The resistance isn't dead, Sarge.
Okay. May I ask, what has befallen you boys?
We're not quite sure. Seem to have some sort of time lapse for the past year or so. Not really sure. Maybe you could actually tell us what's been going on for the past year. Has it just been the like mowing and the whooping for the past year, or
Yeah, Sinjin just goes, oh, a lot of mowing, a lot of whooping.
a lot of mowing, a lot of whooping? Okay,
lot of
okay.
whooping, yeah.
So had nobody's heard from us in the past year?
Well, we actually got pushed back, like to the Pardon me while I refer to this.
Yeah, don't worry. You got nuts. Good.
Yeah. I believe we are in Hope Town.
Hey.
He looks at you and he just goes,
Yeah.
all right, Sarge, that's a good start. He kind of looks at you all like, and you guys all have that kind of look like, what's going on? He just goes,
And I go, I must admit to you boys, I am inebriated.
there's been a lot of mowing, whooping, and inebriation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So is there any kind of intel on what's going on? Does anybody know bases, setup, anything where people are, stuff like that? Are there any allies?
Have the Souls of Woe come across the river at all? Are we actually in a place of security and safety on this side of the river?
Sinjin kind of interjects a bit, and he just goes, no, they don't seem to want to cross the river. They stay on their side. We like to believe that they're scared of old Sarge here. Right, Sarge? Kind of like pat you on the back.
Yes.
I'm sure that's it. I'm sure.
Believe me, the Sarge he's a great commander when he's not drunk, but he's good even when he is drunk. He's just like when he's drunk, he's just kind of like more like monotone and laid back.
Have you all had any contact in the last year from anyone besides the Souls of Woe or any of our enemies?
I have heard through some of my contacts that there is a tunnel, so it's claimed, that goes underground called that goes into Lumina, called the Shuttle Moth.
The Shuttle Moth?
All right.
Yes, we based through the good Sarge's intel. The sergeant is well connected. I can tell you that from experience. We've been able to use many of his connections. That there might be a way back into Lumina, but it could be dangerous.
Okay. Well, dangerous kind of our thing. So, is there a blacksmith or any kind of anything in this town that we can maybe try to upgrade weapons, get stuff fixed, anything like that?
Interesting segue, sir.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few workers that might be able to fix whatever that you require, or if that's
Okay.
what you need.
Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
I feel like it might be best if we rest and maybe
Yeah.
convene when the sergeant is in better mental place.
He walks. He kind of
Yeah.
walks over to you, and he just goes, "Sarge, have another drink." And then
Good, sir.
and then he like walks over to you, and just goes, I hate to break it to you, but that's kind of way the Sarge is all the time.
Oh, I thought you said he was better when he was sober.
Well, I mean, it doesn't change who he is. He's quicker when he's sober. Right now,
okay.
he's about 4 cases in. And then that's I mean, luckily we're able to make some of our own kind of wasteland fuel, if you like any.
Not me. I've had bad experiences.
Understand. No, I understand. I completely understand. Don't touch it myself. But the good Sarge just pounds it down. That's all he calls for. You know,
I
when he
am
wakes
friends
up,
with
he's
Doc
hitting it.
well,
When he
yeah.
sleeps, he's drinking.
He and Otis would have gone together really well.
Who's Otis?
Otis Dirkbringer, old friend.
Old
Story.
Understood, sir. And he looks back and he turns back to you. He goes, Sarge, should we just get these guys some place where they can kind of hang out and stay, get some rest, get some
Yes.
food in their body?
Yes, make them feel at home.
I understand, sir. Are you going to be able to get you back to your cot, Sarge? Do you need me to come back and get you? Or are you just going to roll like you usually do?
I am. I'm gonna roll.
Understood. Okay. With that, he lends you guys over to just some dilapidated hut that are essentially just like the roof is just a bunch of leaves and stuff that is over the top. That's just sitting inside this ruined 4-walled building. All there really is just cots in there. But with that, he does offer you some of the nice cots, and he does bring you over a bowl of some hot soup. He goes, "Unfortunately, sir, we don't have much, but I hope it's enough."
We appreciate you making space for us.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Understood. He looks to
And-
the doctor. He just goes, "We do have some gentlemen who could use some of your attention, if possible, Doc. Could you lend us a hand?"
Certainly.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And then could you point me in the direction of a blacksmith who maybe
You
specializes
keep saying
in
blacksmith.
ancient...
I'm not exactly sure what blacksmiths are.
I'm not sure what the word I'm supposed to be saying is.
Out here on the prairie.
A metal worker.
Are you
somebody who can
Are you looking
infuse
for a
some-
weapons smith?
There we go.
A
That's
weapons
the
maker?
one. Yeah, somebody who deals with weapons.
Oh, over there. He points to just a small group of people, and he just goes, I don't know if they're much in regards to weaponsmiths, but they seem to be the guys that we look to help at least repair some of our weapons."
Okay. So I'm going to head over in that direction.
Just ask for Aiden.
Aiden. There we go. I'm going to head over in that direction and ask for Aiden.
Okay. And Doc, you're just going kind of help out some of the wounded people out there?
I'm going to revive Christ. What's her name? Jaina.
You keep saying revive.
Or not revive. I'm going to get her out of the
Rico tank?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, are you guys all cool with that? Should we wake her up? Wait a minute.
You're the doc. If you think it's safe, We have cots to lay her out in.
Oh, let me just go check on her then. I'll decide not to for now. I'll go over and deal with Boldo and his weapons.
You
See
gonna
if I
go over
can-
with Boulder and his
Gonna
weapons?
cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna come take a look at what I got going on.
As that
You.
happens, and you kind of like Voldo goes over and tries to see the group, Sarge is still sitting in his chair, and the Sarge kind of beckons the good doctor over, and as you kind of walk over, he pulls out another cup and he pours a little bit of whatever he's drinking, and he places it on a little table next to him.
And I'm like walking up to him at this point. I'm in within earshot.
Yeah, the Sarge is just sitting there, sitting on his rocking chair still.
Old Sarge. Looks like the enemy is not the only thing that's been whooping up on you. Still hitting the sauce, eh?
Yes, indubitably.
Wasn't sure you'd recognize me. Is that an external liver stimulator? I see.
Brand new. It's a sort of a personal distillery.
He's got a personal
into
distillery
my-
attached to him.
Brilliant.
It's a liver purifier.
Fast.
I would expect nothing less. I was gonna choose my moment to approach you, but I figured I should have known that even while under the influence, you're still somewhat with it. You're just so good at it.
Do you
So
do you say anything to him, Sarge?
Yeah, I say. So how have you been doing, old buddy?
Rev, roll awareness.
Awareness, okay. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Rev
Oh,
notices the two guys moving towards each other and then just goes, eh.
I'm in my cot, like looking at my sidekick, trying to catch up on current events. I don't know what's going on.
He's like on Yahoo. It's just like, wait, what
Yeah,
happened?
it's like Sarge doesn't know what's happening. I got to find out for myself.
Coronavirus?
Yeah.
What's this coronavirus? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead. So he says to you,
yeah, like,
well, I'm gonna take the drink and I'm gonna say, thanks to laying off of this for my age, I'm doing okay, I guess. Maybe a little better than you, from what I can tell. You're a long way from the days of the hamburger crew, eh?
oh yeah, oh the hamburger crew. We saw some times.
That you did.
Yep. I'm kind of reliving it in the past couple days.
It looks like it. So what do your connections say about our chances, Sarge?
Well, they've got a force field up and thermal imaging, so we can't even stealth our way into their base. What the only thing I'm aware of is the possible tunnel beneath called
the Shutter Moth. Yeah.
the shuttle of Moth.
No, I said Shutter Moth, and you say the shuttle of Moth.
Oh, Shutter Moth.
Yeah. You start to notice, Doc, that he's much more clear of mind than he seemed to have been letting on. The more that you start to talk about the situation, that maybe he's not as inebriated as he says he is.
Well, I've definitely seen you worse off than this. I can imagine when dealing with new people, it's probably safer to let on that you're a little less with it than you are. But it's almost as if nothing's changed. How close are we to this tunnel?
It's actually quite close.
Yeah, you know, Richard, that it's probably about 3 miles out, and it's up against the Moonborn Mountains, which
Oh, okay.
which obviously shields you from the inner parts of Vea itself.
Okay. It's out towards the Moonborn Mountains. About 3 miles out.
Do you have any idea why the enemy is not attempting to cross the river?
That I do not know.
Seems to
They,
me that they could probably wipe us out any time.
yeah, that's it. We have been puzzled by that because they
And how
fought us
long?
back here afar, but yeah, we don't know what has been like what their delay is, why they haven't pressed forward.
And how long you been posted up here?
We have been here for
You've probably been
a
there
few
almost 6
days.
months.
Oh, we've been here about 6 months.
Wow.
And we're planning our next moves, but we're hoping that the enemy does not decide to press forward before we've contemplated our strategy.
While they're having this discussion, can I, with my sidekick, this is like the first time we've actually been back on the net since we left.
Exactly, yeah. Back on the Hive, right.
Yeah, back on the Hive, yeah. Is there any way that I can be like searching for information on the Souls of Woe and who has actually been doing the worst to the resistance?
Yeah, you can make just a quick search. You do find that there isn't much information out there anymore. That it seems to be maybe it's like maybe someone's throttling it. They're stopping the information. Or Los Rivos itself is, which was the hub of the Hive, the Obsidian itself, is no longer putting that out, or maybe active. You don't exactly know. There's nothing to say that Los Rivos is falling or anything like that. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of information specifically. You are aware that the last thing that you heard and that you're able to find and read is that cities are going dark.
Okay. Is there anything about the Clockwork King? He was the one who had been helping us, right?
Right, in Los Rivos.
And there's nothing on him?
You do know that Los Rivos went dark under the orders of the Clockwork King.
Okay. Can I tell when that happened? Like how recently that Los
Yeah,
Rivos went dark?
based on just working the dates and stuff, you figure that it's probably 2 months after that year that supposedly that you had been in there.
So like 10 months ago or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
wow.
you could say it's recent, but it was early in that year that you had been gone. Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you want to look at it as like maybe one day in, that could have been the 2-3 months. Right after that, things had changed.
Okay.
The position of the resistance was already starting to wane.
Okay.
As that gentleman, is the doctor and Sarge are having this conversation, having this drink. Sinjin kind of pulls up a chair and sits down next to you, Sarge, and he just goes, "So Sarge, is it this tunnel? Is it this or bust for us?"
I think it's our best option.
And with the doc, because you're sitting there, he just goes, We were able to scope out the tunnel. There's still an elevator there that goes deep into the earth itself. None of us have gone down. And he looks at you and just goes, to be honestly, a little just too afraid to go down there, not know what we'll find. You know, there's war up here and there's death, and it could easily be down there the same, as above, so below, he kind of says to you. And he just goes, but the old Sarge says a connection says there's still this tunnel. It was used by smugglers. They had built it, and it's supposedly interconnected to all the major cities. Now, again, we haven't set up any kind of recon scout team down there to find out in which shape this is in, but the old Sarge might have been slightly mistaken. The Shutter Moth seems to be like a monorail. It's a rail system that's down there. Now, I'm personally not too thrilled with the idea of being underground, trying to get back in to Lumina when they're doing everything to keep us out. But I can tell you that only about 6 months ago did they start to line the whole eastern shore with these anti-aircraft ion cannons. So there's no one flying out and there's no one flying in. I'm not sure how you guys even got here. But with the looks of your ship, I can see that you saw some action. Now, we've lost a lot. And the old Sarge is all we got left. And if the Sarge says that this might be your only shot, then I followed Sarge. But, if anything, we have to send a small group down there to see if this thing it's what it is. We have to find out if this can even get us to where we want to go. We could go down there and it could be a dead end, and we're sitting here, in the same position. And I hate to break it, Sarge, and he looks at you and he just goes, but you're not getting any younger, buddy. I don't know how many more battles you're going to be seeing.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, I feel the wear of the years on what's left of my body.
Yeah, and I hate to break it, sir, but you're barely fitting inside your exosuit anymore. And I'm tired of having to try to shove you in it every time.
Tailored.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anyone who can tailor anything for you at this point, sir.
Hey, the doc's he's kind of an expert on that.
Yeah. But that's just the situation we're in here, Doc. I hope you can understand.
Can Rev kind of walk up from behind them, kind of hear the tail end of that,
Sure.
and kind of ask if this tunnel can get us back into Lumina?
Immediately everybody snaps around like, whoa, where'd you come from?
Where could we even go? Because everything has gone dark. I can't find anything on the wire. What is it called?
The Hive?
The Hive. Everything's dark on the Hive. Where would we even go?
Do you guys have any idea where any out might be? The last contact you've had?
St. John looks at Sarge and he just goes, when was the last time you got any contact from anybody, Sarge?
The last person I heard from was Tabby.
How long ago was that? It's been a while.
It's been a couple of months.
Well, there you go, a couple of months.
Tabby, who's Tabby? Where's Tabby?
She's my voice.
Yeah, that's the voice inside of old Sarge's head, I guess. I don't know. He keeps saying there's a Tabby. Tell him who it is. Tell him who it is, Sarge. Wait, you know Tabby too, Doc?
Well, maybe not personally, but I know that Sarge knows her. Let's just put it that way.
Sarge, tell him who Tabby is. At least who you keep telling me Tabby is.
Well, she's an insider situated in the, what was that place called again?
The Obsidian.
The Obsidian. Yeah. She's established in the Obsidian, and I've heard she she has inside information on like many of the systems within the Obsidian.
She seems to
She
be
helps us
some
on a
kind
few
of
missions.
connection. I don't know, one of those hackers, I think, is what they call them these days.
Is the Obsidian where the Hive is based?
And he looks at you and goes, well, yes, absolutely.
You're talking about Los Rivos, right?
Yes. That's where he says Tabby is.
I think that might be our best bet of actually getting some information on what's happening in Lumina then.
Trying to get into Los Rivos? That's what you're saying, sir?
You want to try to get into Amsharai or San Dormo? What's our other options?
Sarge?
I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm so drunk. I think I fits of brilliance once in a while, but then I sink back into it.
We got 50 troops over here, and we got a continent's worth of enemies over there. I don't know what our plan should be if we want to try to get a foothold back over there.
Well, St. John sits there and he just goes, I mean, it doesn't seem the worst idea. If this Tabitha really does exist, and he kind of pats you on your shoulder again, Sarge, and he just goes, I mean, you say she exists, but I think it's just somebody you made up, to be honest. But I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Los Rivos is the place to start. But again, we have to hope that this interconnected tunnel gets us there. And I hate to break it to you, but Los Rivos ain't close. So it's going to take some time to get there.
Have you gone this long without hearing from Tabitha before, Sarge?
It actually has been quite a delay. I usually hear from her. Well, she waits for me to contact her.
Can you do that? Can you contact her, see if she's got any information about what's going on over in Lumina?
I can make the attempt. I'm hoping she is okay.
Yeah, and I'm hoping she has
immediately
information.
Immediately, St. John just goes, right, I hope she's okay. You don't call, but I hope she's okay. Gotcha. Okay, Doc. I'm not. I'm sorry, Sarge. He goes, just like your buddy Marvin that you keep talking about. That guy too.
Wait, you know Marvin?
Oh, Marvin. Yep. Marvin Alcorn, my old war buddy.
You know Marvin. Marvin was with us in
Marvin.
Warband.
What? St. John's kind of like, what are you talking about?
He was my friend. He fell in Warband.
You telling me Marvin?
He fell. He fell. He was with us, and there were dark things underneath Warband. He fell to one of them.
He was a brave soldier.
That hit you a little. That hit you a little tougher than that, Sarge, though, because Marvin was a close friend. You hadn't talked to him in quite some time, and you had no idea that he was traveling with these group. But to kind of hear that he had fallen, and the way Rev says fallen, he doesn't exactly say like particularly how he died. He doesn't give specifics. it seems like a nice way to say that he got like a soldier's death.
Marvin had that razor whip. Did he have that when he fell, or did I have that? Do you know? Shogi?
I don't know who had it at the time. I can't tell you though, to be honest.
Well, because I want to like give it as a memorial to.
Well, I had
No,
one
I
that
think
doesn't
he
work that
has
well, and I
his.
think Voldo has the other. Wasn't
Voldo
there
has
two
the
of
other
them?
one, yeah.
Well,
Oh, 'cause
Voldo has the
Marvin-
one.
No. Voldo gave that razor whip to you, the good one, and then you gave the crappier one down to to Marvin. So Marvin
Marvin.
did have it, yes.
So Marvin did have it. Okay. Okay. Marvin was a brave soldier, and he was a good friend. He did not deserve to fall that way.
Maybe you should say some words, Sarge. I mean, he was your friend.
Yeah, I had lots of hope in that boy. I'm just glad he went down fighting.
And he looks at you.
With
He
all-
goes, he did go down fighting, right?
I would hope he did.
He went down. He had done some fighting previously,
Well, that's good.
but
He was never really good at that, but
you know, now I'm trying to lighten the mood.
sure, of course,
know-
yeah.
you know that Marvin He's not the best shot, though. Trying to make a
As you
joke.
guys are having this quick question in regards to strategy and thinking that maybe Los Rivos might be the plan. Voldo, you go over and you meet Aiden, who seems to be a relatively young gentleman. Again, this seems to be a group of people that aren't really long in the tooth, if you know. He kind of like looks at you. He's got kind of a like faux hawked hair, but it's not like purposely styled that way. It's just like the mess that is left of him. And he kind of looks up to you and he just goes, "Hello, sir. How can I help you?"
I hear you work in weapons of all types.
Well,
Is this true?
I've been known to dabble, if
Okay.
that's the best way.
Okay. So, did you ever dabble with, any kind of magical objects, magical weapons, anything like that? You ever come across that kind of stuff?
He immediately looks at you and he just goes, "What do you mean by magic?"
Like this, and then I'm gonna pull out one of those two stones that I have, and just kind of show it to him.
Okay, there's 2 or 3 other people sitting around with him, just kind of like
Okay.
sitting there, and they're kind of like minding their own business.
Yeah.
Though they're there. The moment that you pull out the stone, you start to notice like this one, is starting to pulsate and glow, and they all kind of look at it just bewildered. They've never seen. You get the sense that they've never seen anything like this before. And Aiden looks at you and he just goes, "Wow, what is that? May I touch it?"
Yeah, you can touch it.
You can-
Okay. So he like kind of reaches out like gently to see if you just kind of
Yeah.
like place it into his hand.
I'm gonna gently place it in his hand, but I'm also gonna have like my hand on my hilt of my
Sure.
magic sword.
Not a problem. He like takes a look at it and he like gently just kind of looks at it and he just goes, and as it's like pulsating, it dims and then just becomes like inert. And he just goes, "Whoa, what happened?"
I don't know. That's the first time I've seen that happen. Give it back to me real quick.
And he hands it back to you. And the moment when it touches your hand, it starts to pulsate again.
Okay. Huh. All right.
And
So
he just goes, "Whoa!" He looks at you. He goes, "Whoa. Like I don't know what's going on here." And he goes, "But maybe there's some kind of connection."
yeah. Is there any way you could possibly fit this into the hilt of like my bow or my sword or something like this.
Immediately he just goes, he kind of like looks at you and he just goes, I don't see a bow, I don't see a sword on you.
Oh, sorry about that. Give me one moment. Okay.
And immediately, what are you pulling out?
I'm going to pull out the bow.
Okay, it just manifests into your hand from wherever the ether, and he looks back and he just goes, whoa, 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 it's time, whoa, and all of them, they actually just like kind of snap and back up, and they're just like, whoa, whoa, like what's going on, dude? Like, who are you? Like,
It's cool. It's cool. Don't worry.
is this
I'm
some
a
kind of
friend.
like illusion or trick? Like, what's going on,
No,
buddy?
no. You can hold it. You can hold the bow. I'll hand him the bow, but I'll keep the arrows.
Okay, he just kind of like, okay, and the moment that he kind of like, oh, and kind of snaps back a little bit, and when he touches it and holds it, it merely unmanifests and disappears back.
All right, so I'll hold it while he touches it.
Okay, you again manifest it, and it becomes solid, and he touches it, and he just like, oh, whoa, how do you do that? That's wow, that's crazy. Like, what are you?
They call us Red Crows.
And immediately he takes a step back and he just goes, okay, just stay where you are.
Okay, I can do that.
And he just goes, and you get the sense that immediately the moment he hears that, like, he doesn't want to touch you, he doesn't want to have anything to do with you, that there may be something about that word that sets him off. And he just goes, what can I do for you, sir?
I would like help with my weapons, upgrading, anything you can do. We have been gone for a year, so we don't know what is going on with the tech these days.
Okay.
I have a few compatriots here, as you can tell.
I do.
If you could help us out in any way you can with weaponry, and if you could possibly figure out somehow to infuse some of this magic, these magic stones into some of my weapons, I might have a even nicer, more magical item I could show you.
You want me to find a way to incorporate this stone
Yes.
that seems to only connect with you directly into your weapon that seems to only connect with you.
Yes.
Do you see the logic and how that's just not going to work?
Well, I could do it if you figure out how.
I'll be honest with you, sir. Based on what I see in regards to that rock, and it is some sort of power source, maybe at best it'd be used for some kind of concussive grenade. Might be the easiest way to do it. Your bow that seems to only appear when you want it to appear seems to be a bit of an issue.
Okay.
Do you have more of these
All right.
stones?
I do.
And with that, he just goes, follow me. And he kind of just
Okay.
takes you over to what looks like this like little circular contraption. And he just goes, if you don't mind, sir, can you put your stone in the middle of this? And let's see and get some kind of readings on this if possible. I want to know exactly if we can figure out exactly what this is and what kind of energy this is actually putting out.
Okay. I'll put the stone on there.
Okay. It immediately goes inert. He just goes, maybe you should touch it.
Touch it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it on there and touch it while I'm doing it.
Okay. And as he does, he starts to do some kind of scans and reads. You do notice that this circular digital reader scanner seems to kind of like pulsate in this like kind of roundabout light. And he takes a look at it. He's looking at the readings. He looks at you, looks at the readings, and he just goes, okay, thank you so much, sir. You may remove it.
I'll take it off.
And he says, based on the power output that this is giving off, I probably could make you, based on this one rock, if we're able to stabilize this power, I could probably make you a good case of 20 or so extremely powerful grenades
For one rock?
for one rock, based on the power output that it's giving off, which is insane.
Is there any way to condense that down to 10 grenades with twice the power?
I could try to do that, sir. It would take quite amount of time, and it could be, well, let's just say I don't really want to blow myself up.
Okay, all right. Let's stick with 20 grenades. Yeah, I'm gonna ask him if he can hang on to one of these stones and make some grenades for us.
Okay,
And then
with that, he kind of like just goes, I'd appreciate if you just stayed here with me and helped.
Of course, I got you.
I might make you do a lot of the touching, if you're
Most
okay with
likely, I
that
get
as
it.
well.
That's kind of my jam.
Okay, and with that, I can do what I can to help build some housing. They will, they're going to be kind of like scrap grenades. Forgive me, that's just kind of all we have. But it might be something to give a good bang.
Yeah, it goes boom, it goes boom.
Okay, and with that, Aiden and Voldo will work over for probably a good 4 or 5 hours to try to start piecing together some of this. You're doing a lot of like the rock carving, breaking off chips in order to make power cells for more than just a couple of grenades here. So I will need you to make a couple rolls here. Just give me a simple knowledge roll or an intellect roll, whichever one.
Shoot, my thing disappeared. There it is. 1 second. Knowledge roll?
Or intellect, whichever one is best for you.
Okay, I got a 13.
Okay. And make a fate roll.
16.
No, fate is on his side. You put together enough that you and him work, that you're able to find some kind of blueprint that could possibly work as you start to continue to make these. As Aiden and Voldo have disappeared off into one of like the little impromptu sheddings, doing their engineering stuff, you don't hear from them. Gentlemen, for the good doctor, for Rev, for Sinjin, as well as the Sarge. Sinjin goes to you and he just goes, is the plan Los Rivos? Because if we're going to make a move, as the Sergeant and I have talked about, time is not on our side. We need to make a move soon. We can't just sit here on the other side of this Gulf River and just hope and pray that, things are going to change.
Well, the doc has connections with the Clockwork King if he's still around, and if the sergeant's got connections with a tabby there, I feel like that's the only place we might actually find allies.
With that, he goes, Sarge, you want to try to connect to Tabitha?
Yes, I would like to try that.
Would you like to do that in front of all of us? Because I'd really like to believe that. I want to hear this girl. I don't believe that she's real.
I have it right here on my
speed dial.
my speed dial.
You go ahead and you attempt to connect. Are you trying to speak with her, or are you just trying to text speak with her?
I think I'm gonna go text speak.
Okay, what is it that you actually ask her specifically?
I'm gonna ask her if she can confirm the existence of that tunnel, or if she has any awareness, if she could get a lock on it or not.
Okay.
But-
Roll a fate roll.
Okay. Is that a D20?
Yes.
Oh, okay. D20. There we go.
You know, I can say I've shared the same skepticism, but things always seem to come through the way he said they would. So I wouldn't doubt him too much when it comes to this connection he has.
Sinjin hears your words and just goes, "I understand, sir. Forgive me. I believe you as well." He looks at Rev and just goes, "What did you roll?"
I rolled a 10.
You get no response for about a minute or so. And
Everybody's
then,
just looking at him.
yeah, just like looking at him.
And
And then you get a ping on your sidekick. Do you choose to read it?
Yes.
It says it comes from unknown. No source. What do you do?
I guess
Do you continue to read?
the Sarge pauses for a second, and
Okay,
you can tell he's like contemplating like whether, like, because this could be a risk.
sure.
He decides, considering the circumstances, he decides that he will answer it.
Okay. You open up the message, and it merely states, "It's been some time."
Mm.
Now,
He texts.
as that happens, Rev, the Doc, and Sinjin are all over your shoulder reading this with you. Do you type anything? You all see this, though. Be aware that you all do see that. But again, it just says unknown.
I text back, "What is your alias?"
Immediately you get a
I'm hoping she's
reply.
gonna put.
Immediately you get a reply and that says, "Your favorite cat. Meow." Immediately after that, it says, "What can I do? Time is of the essence."
I would like to request if you can confirm the existence of a tunnel called the Shutter Moth.
And if it leads to Los Rivos, and if there's a
Okay,
connection
and
to
that
Los
doesn't
Rivos.
lead to Los Rivos.
Revo is just like typing that into, and if,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay.
I'm like tapping. Ask her about Los Rivos and is there a good restaurant to eat? And
It gets back. Are you speaking about the smuggler's tunnels?
And I text yes.
It has been said that they exist.
And I text, do you have a source
Immediately comes back.
that you can disclose anyway?
When you ask source, what is it that you're asking? Where it originates from? Question mark.
Yes.
It is said that it originated somewhere in Vea, and that it was able, through a series of interconnected tunnels, reach all the major cities. That's all the information that I have. There's been no updated information if those tunnels are still open. After that, it says, I have to go. Good luck, sir.
And I put text, thank you, Tabby.
She immediately types back, meow. Sinjin immediately is like, okay, maybe she does exist. Do we go for it?
I mean,
Voldo's
see
not
no
there
other
yet.
option.
Yeah.
Voldo and Aiden are just
Oh,
like
that's right, I'm
high-fiving
still
each other,
waiting.
just making stuff. Every time you like
Making
you
Yeah.
actually put one together, like you can hear Voldo in the distance going, "Yeah, man!"
It fucking worked.
Rev says, I think we rest tonight, and first thing tomorrow, we checked out these tunnels.
Yeah.
What do you think, Doc?
I am afraid we'll have to.
We can only take a small group. We can't take everybody.
How small?
I might be able to go. Here's the thing, and Sarge, because you put me in charge, you'd agree. We can't. If things go bad, we can't lose everyone. So we have to the smallest group possible in order to see if we can actually get anywhere with this. And then maybe we can call in the rest of the groups to follow suit if they can, in order to do that. Some kind of infiltration.
Scouting mission sounds best for a target like this.
Especially if we don't know if it truly exists. We don't even know what's down there. You know, what if it's just all caved in, you know?
Well, quiet and stealth is my specialty.
My question to you, though, gentlemen, is for Doctor, what do you want to do with your girl?
Well, that's what I was going to talk to. I was going to talk to the guys about. We can't leave her in that tank forever. I mean,
I think it might be time to pull her out and see if we can talk to her. See if she'll revive. See if she'll wake up when she's out of the tank.
I agree.
Try.
Do you have any medication or anything that's like a?
Well, he's not a medical doctor, so he has basic. No, he's more of a cybernetic engineer.
Okay.
He's a scientist.
I have drugs on me though. That'll.
Did you pick
I'm
those
just
up?
gonna say that
you got some uppers.
Yeah, exactly. That seems about on par for my character.
Smelling salts.
I'm going with exactly. Got some smelling salts for right before I rush in.
Well, the tank should have taken care of
her physical injuries.
Physical, and it should restore pretty much on a cellular level. So I would imagine that cerebral and mental faculties should be restored as well. I know that she was heavily influenced before we took her into our care, but the last time she was conscious, she seemed free of that. So hopefully we could just all we can do is try and give her some time if she's not coherent.
I'd like to talk to her alone when we first revive her, if it's possible.
I agree.
Okay, so what do? Do you bring her over to where all you guys are at?
I think we should go into the kind of house that she's in and kind of lay her on one of the cots, so she's like in a comfortable position when we try to revive her.
Sarge, are you gonna go with them?
Yes.
Okay. Sinjin follows as well to at least help you get her situated. You take her. I'm to assume you're taking her out of the tank. Is step one, right?
Yeah. Right.
Who is actually pulling her out of the tank?
I
I
feel like
will.
I think the doc should do
Okay.
this. Yeah.
She's relatively light in your hands. She's probably a girl again of around 21, 22. But it's like looking at someone who's in just that has almost reverted back to kind of like a childlike state. At least the way that you see her in your hands, almost very daughterish. You lay her down. She's a very beautiful young woman, but you can still see the scars of the injections from that collar that she was wearing. You thought that cellularly that those would have healed, but Rev's seen those collars and they're made of some dark stuff. So though the wounds around seem healed, the injection, the puncture marks are still there. You lay her down and would like to do what?
Do we have any sort of I have something called jolting juice. Is this something that we can attempt to I mean, it's usually used to give exhaust back, but I don't know if that's something that could help possibly revive.
I don't know.
I have one healing water left. Oh, I'm not even there. Never mind.
No, you're
Well,
just you've now made grenade number 4. And you're just like
Ooh.
your truck and you are feeling
Yeah.
like you and Aiden have just created like a little bit of a bond. You're just like, wow, man, this is like we can do this.
Well, can we we had that soup that was brought. Can we try to maybe force feed her a little bit to give her some sort of sustenance?
You can attempt.
Okay. I'd
Is
like
that-
to attempt
Okay.
to pour some jolting juice.
She does not take it. She does not take it.
Okay. All right.
It merely just dribbles out of her mouth.
Okay. Well, I don't want to inject her with anything yet either. I don't know that we can force her to wake up. I feel like we might just have to give her time.
Doctor?
Yeah, I think so. I know that you know what? Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and fetch Waldo, see if he can step away for a second,
Okay.
and either bring the water or give it to me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that.
So you make your way over to
I realize she didn't take what we just tried to give her, but
right.
you know, first of all, I want to make sure she doesn't aspirate and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would like to at least have that on hand.
Just in case.
Or-
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. You exit the little hut, the little room that you're at, and you go over to the other side of this base, and there's now a little crowd forming over that little place that Voldo and Aiden are in there, and you just hear a lot of cheers. They're like, "Oh, wow!" And Voldo's just like going around construction this, and every time he like makes one, he's like, "Yeah!" And everyone starts high fiving him. They're just like, it gives them, they get a sense that he's bringing hope, that here's a guy that's willing to go out and fight these things, and he's gonna take the fight to them. That's what Voldo is kind of like injecting them with a little bit of energy and hope. You make your way over, and Voldo's kind of like surrounded by these guys, and even in Voldo's, physical state, they don't seem to be too put off by him. And you walk up, and Voldo, you see the good doctor kind of like making his way through your little group here.
Yeah, we got Jaina out of the tank, and she's not waking up. I know you had gotten some water from that little stream in Warband. Can I get that from you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
So you just kind of pass that over to him.
Yeah. I'm
Looks
just gonna
like
give
you're
just boom.
looks like you're doing a little rabble rousing, huh? Over here.
Oh, dude, you don't even know. Do you want to stay and watch for a little bit? It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. No two are the same.
You see, he like shows you these grenades, and some look a little bit more circular, some look a little more like egg shaped. One looks square. It's just like just a bunch of just like.
I have one that's a heart shape. It's pretty cool.
Aiden looks at him, kind of high fives him. He just goes, "We call it the Heartbreaker."
Hey, yeah.
Are you on a hard limit as to how many you can make?
I think you said around 20. Yeah,
we're gonna make a bunch. I can't believe we're actually now. We have to test this though, right? So we need to blow up something.
Hey Doc, you got anything when you want to blow up?
Any requests,
Well.
Doc?
All right. Is there anybody here who has a death sentence?
I mean, if we hucked it out into the water, that'll give us a good idea of the size.
All the guys that are now around are like slapping you in your back. You're like, yeah, huck it in the water. Huck it in the water.
I mean, we can kind of judge it by the amount of disturbance it gives to the water.
All right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's throw one of these bad boys out in the water. See what kind of shockwave, what kind of radius it gives out of damage.
All of them are just like, yeah, let's go. We're back in the fight, and they all kind of like run and follow Vola down as he's like running towards the beach. Doc, do you follow or do you take the water back?
I kind of trust what they're doing, and I've witnessed my fair share of explosions, so I think I'll wait to hear what the report is, because I guarantee that we're going to be told what exactly play by play what the hell happened.
Fair enough.
And I'll probably hear it too.
Fair enough.
I know that we kind of got to figure out our next move. It hinges on how the lady's doing, because if we have to leave her here,
you take the water back over. As you do that, go ahead and just roll fate roll, Mike, for Voldo.
So right, and all right, you keep doing that. 13.
13. The first one you throw is a square one, and you place that sucker right in the middle of that water, and it goes doom and just sinks to the bottom. There's a little bit of delay of like 15 seconds where Aiden's just like looks at you and you look at him, you're just like, oh man, and then it just goes boom and just creates this huge ripple and explosion, like a depth charge.
Nice.
You get the sense that it's a pretty strong concussive powerful blast that it probably could take out, if planted in a rev jet and exploded, it probably would rip the rev jet hull in two. It's got enough concussive power. Okay. Just by those little fragments that you're mounting inside the canisters themselves.
Do we have like a damage level thingy that might work?
Yeah, at some point you'll need to do a few more tests in order to get better reads on that. But you figure that it's a good start, definitely.
Okay.
Maybe you can make the cuts a little bit bigger in order to do a little bit more damage, but as that happens, the good doctor walks back in. He's got the water in hand, Rev.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? Jaina is just sitting there.
Before he tries to do anything with the water, I want to actually pull out Otis's lucky dice that I still have.
Understood.
I think I have them around my neck.
You had them
like a
around your
necklace
neck.
thing.
Yeah.
So I want to take that off and just kind of put it in her hands, and then just kind of leave them there.
Okay.
I'm hoping that will be a reminder of something familiar to her if she does wake up.
Okay. Doc, you do see this. Obviously, Sinjin and the Sarge are just merely watching. What do you do?
Just I want to be very sparingly. I want to kind of tilt her head up a little bit, get her in more of a semi-sitting position, like
Understood.
in a crunch position. And just using as little as I possibly can, just get enough water just to the bridge of her mouth, and try and get her to just at least get some into her mouth, whether she swallows it or not, and see what it does.
Okay. As the first drops hit her tongue and seem to go down her throat, Rev, you feel a piercing pain in your side of your head.
I grab my head. What is?
You hear an explosion in the distance and cheering as Voldo and Aiden have thrown another grenade into the water. And then you
I
hear,
forgot.
"Why are you doing this?"
Do I hear that in my head?
Yes.
Who is this?
It's me, it's Jaina.
Jaina, you're in my head?
There's a connection.
We're doing
You
this
spoke
because
to me once before.
yes,
You
Otis would
created a
not want you to-
connection.
Otis would not want you to be in pain.
You guys seeing this? I direct everyone's attention to Rev, and we're just tripping out on him.
Yeah. Sarge, you see Rev, and he's kind of like just holding his
And I
head in pain.
I gently lay Jaina down once I realize there's no choking risk.
Sinjin looks at him as well, and he just goes, Is he okay? Is he fine?" And then like Rev starts to like speak, like he's speaking to somebody.
I just kind of
He's still alive. He's still out there.
Who is alive?
You know.
Otis?
Falcorn.
Marvin?
If the Bandit King, Marvis Falcorn.
Okay. Sorry, his name is way too close to Marvin.
It is. It is. Sorry. Yeah.
He's
still out there.
Alive.
If I come too, he'll find me.
Are you hiding from him?
I have to. That collar isn't the only way he uses people.
How can we help? Is there any way to break his connection with you?
Take me back to the source.
The source, not Warband, is it?
Take me back to where he made me.
Did he make you in Sandormo?
Take me back to the source. And with that, she disappears. And the pain subsides. You each see this. Doc, you actually hear him. You don't hear Jaina's voice, but you can hear the things he's saying.
She was talking to you, wasn't she?
Yeah, Doc. She said she's hiding from Marvin Falcorn.
Marvis.
Marvis.
Yeah, Marvis.
Marvis Falcorn, the Bandit King, right?
Right.
Okay.
Immediately, Sarge, you know who he's talking about.
Is
He's a sworn enemy of the old Sarge. He's been fighting him for years.
Sarge? Do you know where this Marvis is?
I dismissed that guy for a reason.
Dismissed.
He was
Would
one
you-
of my old. I guess you could call him an underling. He really didn't deserve to work with us. In fact, he was a disgrace to our services.
Well, Jaina is scared to death of him. She says if she wakes up, he'll find her. He's got some connection with her.
So we should probably go find him.
Spoken from
Yes,
a
I-
very, very long distance.
Yeah. Keep forgetting I'm working on those grenades.
Who's
So.
still like tossing more grenades in there and just like they're exploding. Immediately Sinjin just goes, if anything, I don't know which has happened, but that even makes it more clear. I think
What's
what we know
clear?
we need to do. We have to take the fight to them.
Well, we have to. She said we have to go back to the source. Does anybody know what that means? The source,
No
where
idea.
she came from? What
She
was-
didn't tell you?
No, she said the source where I came from. I think.
Well, if it's a source and she's talking about Marvis Falcorn, then she has to be talking about Sandormo.
Isn't that where Doctor? What's his face was
Eli Hauser.
experimenting? Yeah, Dr. Eli Hauser. Wasn't that where he created Mother or was doing experiments on people?
Dr. Eli Hauser? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, Dr. Hauser.
If that's the case, and she was under Dr. Hauser's watch or whatever may be the case, then the source means the Citadel.
The Citadel.
Okay.
But that's in the heart of Sandormo.
Sneaky time.
Is that where we're going?
Yes.
If we try to take if we try to take Jaina to the heart of Sandormo as she's in a coma, I don't know how we are going to make that happen.
We gotta like beef up our weapons and armor somehow.
Sinjin immediately looks at you guys. As Voldo's not there, he's exploding more, and you just hear cheers in the distance. He looks at Sarge, and he just goes, "We got your connection came through. If the Shutter Moth is there, it's our best way to get in. Let's do it. I don't want to sit here waiting to die. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna be doing my
Gonna die
job."
fighting?
In agreement.
Doc,
So Sandormo.
Oh, jeez.
I'll take that as a yes.
Do you? I mean, how long? It sounds to me like she's intentionally keeping herself under.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's doing.
Now, she could be a beacon to the enemy if she comes through. Is that what I gather? Or comes to?
I believe if she lets herself wake up, then she somehow is going to be known by Marvis that she's awake. And I assume where she is, because that's the only reason I can think of that she would purposely keep herself under like this.
All right.
I look over
Okay.
at Sergeant Goldenhammer and his armor that he's wearing.
Yep.
Is there any way that we could put together some armor for Jaina, but have us control it so that she's always with us, but actually protected?
That might be a possibility. That would take some time.
Yeah.
Bring her over to my crowd.
Yeah.
I feel like we might be able to help you out with that one.
I don't want her to blow up, though. is the thing.
Well, we can make her have things that make other people blow up.
Give her some grenade. and
We
say,
got plenty of grenades, so
If that's possible, you can't control her, but you can obviously make something
Okay.
that can protect her.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Something that will hold
Yeah.
her and encase her, so that if we bring her with us, we're not just, carrying
So
her.
like
Sure.
cover her in grenades so nobody can touch her.
No, not like that.
Okay. Okay, fine.
As you guys talk about that and you agree, and Voldo tosses in another explosion, and this one you notice the explosions are getting bigger and bigger. The light show is
Yeah.
becoming nicer and nicer.
Yeah.
You kind of like look at each other, give each other high fives. And with that, we're going to end tonight's session. I want to thank everybody who hung out with us this evening. We do this every Friday night here at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 10 p.m. I want to thank Ryan here, who's been awesome, been with us since the beginning with Rev. Thank you so much, good sir.
My pleasure. Always crazy to see what you come up with, Scott. I love it.
I appreciate it. I want to thank my good friend Mike here, who's playing the awesome Voldo, who's now building grenades. So we might have a new weapons guy in there.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty excited about that. Thank you so much, good sir, Mike.
Oh, dude, always a pleasure. Always fun to play. Thank you.
Absolutely. To my brother from another mother, the good Mr. Dr. Ace Mars, who's been taking very good care of the young Jaina, but can't take very good care of himself. We do thank you
Very
so
true.
much, good sir.
Story of my life.
And of course to my good friend Richard as the inebriated Gideon Goldenhammer. Thank you so much, good sir, for hanging out and being
Thank you.
part
I
of
had a lot
this. Again, we'll be here next week. Thank you so much, Nietzsche, for hanging out. Do truly appreciate that. We will be back next Friday at 7:30 p.m. where we will continue the saga of the Shutter Moth and get into part 2 of As Above, the Same Below. So we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you want to check out any of the other episodes, you can always check the YouTube down below. Give a like and a follow if you can. Give a follow to the good Mr. Random118, who's the best streamer, and my truly good friend here. I appreciate everything he brings out and provides for us all. Until then, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And until next time, keep it safe on the waste, everyone. Good night.
Peace out.